Okay, welcome to the first review show. I've always wanted to do something like this, but I never quite had the right idea until now. I'm going to look at an obscure arcade game I used to play when I was a kid called Rabbit Punch. Well, that's the American name, but this version is called Rabio Lepus for whatever reason. This is the Japan release. It's a bit easier than the American, and it has a few things about it that make it a little more fun. It's uncensored for one thing, not that there's anything overly graphic, but let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, so here's your basic gameplay. Side-scrolling shooter. I like those, as long as they're, original, keep me entertained. I've seen a lot of side-scrolling shooters get boring real fast, and that's never fun at all. No one likes boring side-scrolling shooter. Now the really interesting concept here is instead of your average spaceship flying through a nameless background for whatever purpose, you're actually a rabbit that can shoot lasers out of its eyes. Sounds like something right out of a bad fanfic, doesn't it? Also, look at some of these enemies. You got butterflies and stone heads mixed in with the usual space shooter enemies, which is really cool. I actually like the game. My parents were in the arcade business when I grew up, and we used to have this game, and I played it every day after school, so once I decided to do my own review show, I knew this game had to be first. Again, this is the Japanese release. It's actually a little bit easier to play than Rabbit Punch, the American one, which I grew up playing because, well, quite a few things. One, the difficulty has been raised way up in the American version. And plus, you can't continue after stage 9, which I'll show you stage 9 later. And then carrots rain from the sky after beating every boss. Isn't that nice? Tay should do a song about that. Carrot rain. Okay, there's the best power-up in the game. Of all your power-ups, you got this one, which makes you invincible and lets you fly faster and kill things on contact. It's kind of the Rabbit Punch version of the Power Star from Mario, I guess. Every fourth level is a boss level. You just go straight in and fight a boss, which is cool. Kind of breaks the stage action up a little bit. This is the boss of the first map, the space station. Oh, come on, Tay, you gotta write that song now. Chocolate rain, carrot rain. It's great.
Thank you.
Okay, this was a scene cut out of the American version. I can only guess it's because of the allusion to Playboy bunny girls or something. But Princess and King. Alright, now you're off to the Asteroid Base. The second set of levels take place inside said Asteroid Base. You introduce a few new enemies. One of these annoying flying rocks. You see that carrot go off screen? That's really annoying. That's one of the problems with this game is when you break stuff out of the little carrot containers, half the time it goes in a wall or like directly inside an enemy and you can't get it, which really sucks because the all-powerful invincible power-up comes out and it gets stuck in a wall right before a boss and you can't use it. You shoot out missiles in sets of 3, by the way, which is why they come 3 at a time, or multiples of 3 at some points. Although the +9 missile power-up is rare. Also another thing, if you notice that ribbon I've had and lost a few times, if you get it, your missiles get powered up. They kind of glow like some of the invincible enemies, and they can cut through multiple ones before they disappear. Carrots also rain faster after each level, so it's harder to get many of them. But it does usually give you a chance to replenish your lost life. You get 3 lives, and you can only replenish health for that life, however. You do get 1 extra life per play. It's usually around this level or so, depending on whether you're playing the 2 times score hard mode or this, whether you get it now or earlier. About the hard mode, the really cool thing about it is not only does it make the game harder and give you ×2 score, you actually change the palette of all the levels, so it's kind of like new levels, although not quite. A lot of the enemies change too. Now here's a weird boss. Look at this thing. It's like some kind of meditating guy on a rock shooting fireballs. Why is he in this asteroid base? Where does he lie in all this? Alright. A little glitch when skipping ahead there, but it'll be okay. We're on stage 9. This is the planet, the last map you go to. I always like that music. Music's pretty good in this game. Each boss has its own music too, which is pretty good. You know, most old games like this, you'd only get one boss music and maybe something for the final boss, but instead they give you something new each time. I'd say out of my favorite shooters ever, this one's right up there with Dragon Saber, which is another one of my all-time favorites. I'm probably going to review that sometime soon. I don't know, actually I want to get a bad game in, because I'm going to say this is a good game, as you'll see when I give my final score later. It's got good colorful graphics, it's fun to play, it's original, you gotta give it that. Only thing is the lack of power-ups might turn off some hardcore shooter fans, because it's a pretty simple shooter at that. Difficulty's there, but it is quite simple. I don't know why, I just always had a strange affection for this game. Also worth mentioning is the pseudo-sequel remake, Rabio Lepus Special for the PC Engine. If you really want a shooting challenge, go look that up. Someone posted a video of it not too long ago, but they didn't play the whole game through, but some of that stuff's just crazy at the end too. Just remember I'm playing the Japanese release. The American version's like twice as hard. Mainly due to that whole can't continue after stage 9 thing. Alright, now we have stage 10. Somehow we've gone from a forested area to desolate snow peaks. This stage is actually kind of like a desert on the palette swap version you can play by changing the game over to hard mode. Alright, dead again. I die several times right here toward the end. Alright, well this is near the end of the review. In all, it's a good game, a bit simplistic, but it's really fun to play. It's at least worth a run through if you like shooters, or even if you don't, maybe you should try this one. I do recommend the Japanese version because of the extra content, and all the other difficulty things I talked about earlier. Or if you just want to be really hardcore, you know, you could go pick the US version up. It's equally as awesome. They actually redid a few graphics for it too. You just have to decide, do you want the harder difficulty and cooler graphics, or less graphical stuff and less cinemas, and an actually beatable game. Well, I'd say that was alright for a first attempt at reviewing a game. Hopefully this doesn't turn into another irate gamer versus angry video game nerd scandal. I'm not one for internet drama. But I hope you enjoyed the review. Here's some tips, or if you decide to play the game, I hope you do. And of course the final score. Good night, everyone.